Statement about Kurt Miller. Coach Miller, as he continues to recuperate, he continues to undergo testing. His status has not changed since Coach Roos had a press conference on Monday. His status remains day-to-day. Players and staff to this point have granted his wishes that we respect his privacy and not asked him about his health. I as well have been trying to respect his privacy and not been asking him about it. When Coach Miller has an update on his health, he will let us know. Therefore, tonight I'm requesting that you please refrain from asking questions of Coach Roos or of Logan about Coach Miller's health. And with that, we'll have Coach Roos make an opening statement, and then we'll throw it open for questions for either one of them.
But we knew coming into this game that it would be a defensive battle. As we talked about in our pregame, we weren't sure who was going to be the first team to say, quote-unquote, uncle. It was that indeed. Kathy Bennett sells videos about her defensive strategy. Obviously, her father is one of the most famous coaches in the country as well. She is a disciple of that. She has gone to postseason play with 3 different teams. She's a national championship coach that has a title. And she brought in a team that was red hot. They won a couple in a row, 3 of 4. This team that actually shoots the ball better on the road than they do at home. And we knew we had our hands full. We tell our kids all the time, one game at a time. And as I mentioned earlier, it was going to be a defensive battle, and whoever said uncle first, and thank goodness that we were able to say it.
Questions for either one?
Coach, I'm sure you've thought about walking off that floor, being in charge, getting your first win here. What's that feeling like?
Well, I have an extremely bad headache right now, so it wasn't what I anticipated. But this is a game where I felt like we could have played a lot better. But Northern Illinois, to their credit, made us play the way we did. We shot 2 of 17 at the arc, which is 11%. We shot 54% at the foul line, going 13 of 24, and we shoot under 40% overall for the game. For us to be successful in this conference, we have to put together a better 40 minutes and be more consistent with those statistics throughout the game. The one stat that I am proud of with that defensive pressure, we didn't turn the ball over. We only had 9 turnovers in the whole game, and I think we forced them into 20 turnovers. That's where I say the uncle came into play, and we did a good job of taking care of the ball. But for us to get this win at home was really special because the kid sitting next to me really contributed to making that happen, and she was a highly recruited player. I'm still just thankful to this day that she chose to come to Bowling Green, and she was a huge spark, and this win had a lot to do with her contributions, having 12 points in 14 minutes. She was a spark that we were looking for when we were struggling every which way, and a lot has to be credit to her, because if she doesn't step up like she did today, it's a different story. So I'll remember a couple things. I'll remember my bad headache, I'll remember the low turnovers, but I'll remember Logan Pastor stepping up today.
Jennifer, with all the numbers that were going against you, the shooting, the rebounding advantage, is it an oversimplification to say it's their turnovers and what you did with their turnovers that's the difference?
Well, I thought our bench played extremely well, and like I said, Logan did a good job of contributing to that. Jill Stein had 6 points as well. But we needed to outscore them with bench points, and we did that 22-6. But we wanted to try and push the tempo as much as we could, and they did a good job with their backline defense, and we couldn't turn the corner like we wanted to. And they did double inside. They shut down Alexis Rogers, and that's a kid that we have to get going. There's a couple of the past 2 games she's having trouble getting off the snide, but we need to get her going, and with them doubling her inside, we had a lot of open looks, and we did not hit those tonight. So, but you're right. Statistically, it's an ugly game, but it doesn't. Statistics lie at times. So we came out with a win, and we're gonna look at this game and watch it tomorrow as a staff. But we have a short two-day prep for Western Michigan.
Coach Miller's talked about it too, that maybe you're going to be just a grinding kind of team this year. I mean, are you kind of getting accustomed and used to the fact we're going to win some games ugly?
We mentioned the exact phrase to the team in the timeout that we're going to have to win ugly, and ideally you don't want to do that, but you have to take what they give you. And our kids grinded it out tonight. They grinded it out against Central Michigan with our first overtime game of the year, winning up there in a hostile environment. And it was a grind indeed, but we tried to prep our team as well as we could for explaining the defensive strategy that Kathy and the Huskies were going to bring in tonight.
Jennifer, despite things not being business as usual, is there a sense of pride of keeping this thing rolling and not missing a step?
Well, I was, yes, because we've all poured our heart and soul into this program, and your personality kind of evolves into the program itself, and the program rubs off on you. But Kevin Eckert, another assistant coach, has done a good job of humbling any thoughts of our staff playing without Coach Miller, saying, we're 1-0 without him, but we're still 1,024 games behind Pat Summitt. So we're keeping things in perspective in regards to win totals. But honestly, we talk about one game at a time, and I was expecting some of you all to ask about a win streak, or how many we've run in a row, or how many this is a row at the Stroh Center, or how many does this date back to Anderson Arena. And if you do, I have no idea, so you got to direct that to Mike Sheehan. But it's all about one game at a time. But bottom line, I would really love to redirect some of this stuff to Logan, because I'm really proud of her effort today. And without what she did today, the game would have been a different story for sure.
Logan, any differences really, it's only 2 games since, but anything that's really noticeable about the way Coach Roos runs a game as opposed to Coach Miller?
We're firm believers in routine, and we haven't changed a thing. We just have confidence in the program and everything we do day in and day out, so nothing's changed. We're the same team. We're working as hard as ever. So.
Logan, your playing time may have been sporadic throughout the year. You came in though tonight, maybe got that first jump shot to win. Did that give you a little shot of confidence, you think?
Yeah, it was definitely a big relief. Coming in, it's a confidence thing, and it was a big relief to come in and hit that first jump shot, and having teammates and coaches behind you that support you is awesome, and that's really what kept me going and kept me having good confidence for the rest of the game.
Logan, are you feeling more comfortable or confident each game, or is it still a work in progress for you?
Every day is a work in progress, but I do feel more comfortable. With each game, it's just the more experience I get, the more comfortable I'm going to get, obviously. So I hope to get better each game, and I think that's what we're working with right now. So
When you were on the bench and watching and they talked about Northern Illinois' defense, were you looking at a way to attack them? Was that part of the reason that maybe you were in the game, to attack them a little bit differently?
Yeah, we were hoping to get to the free throw line and attacking them. That is obviously the best way to do that. I think we did a good job getting free throw line. It was just making our free throws that was the struggle. So I think we didn't get to execute our game plan as well as we thought, but and then we grinded out and got the win. So
Obviously, through the schedule, you've had plenty of time to observe people ahead of you, Jess, for the most part, and Julian. What have you learned so far, the biggest thing about playing?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned from Jess Lego especially is leadership. She's one of the best leaders that I've ever been around. Obviously, besides the coaching staff, she is an emotional leader, leader by example. Everything that you could ask for in a senior, she does. And I think this year was great for me to be able to learn behind her. I think that's the biggest thing.
Is there something in particular, Logan, that she does that shows that leadership, or?
Nothing gets to her. She has one of the best game faces on any player I've ever seen. She's hard-nosed every game, tough, and she just keeps at it no matter what. So.
Jennifer, how nice is it to have 2 point guards that score? I know you want the ball to be passed, but to score 26 points between the that's
Fantastic. Jessica Slagle got player of the week last weekend. She was averaging 20. This is a kid who tore ACL early on in her career, has played behind some unbelievable wings, and Lauren Prohaska and a couple others, and just waited her turn, and it is just unbelievable performance, and I would not expect anything less of her, and what she's been able to do has helped elevated our overall team play throughout the season.
Coach, after Northern was able to make that little run to start off the second half, how were you guys able to get things going again and get the lead back to where it was?
That run at the beginning of the second half was a big key to the reason why I called timeout. And 40 seconds into the second half, it was a situation where we gave up an easy 3 turnover at midcourt, so it led to an easy bucket. And for Northern to score 5 points in 40 seconds, it was very disturbing. So like I said, we called a timeout very early on, and we tried to correct that. And honestly, we were getting open shots. We just weren't making them. So I wasn't quite sure what button to push for the ball to start falling, other than just we wanted to keep attacking, and as Logan said, get to the foul line. But coming out of the second half was a disappointing start, considering how well I thought we came out of the gate in the first half, because it was much better than the way we came out at the beginning of the Central Michigan game.
Any other questions?